What's good with YouTube? You already know. Big Flacco with a convict's perspective. And I'm going to slide on through with that little bit of energy. Please hit the like, comment, subscribe, do all those things to help support this channel. And hit the bell notification for future fire content. And as you can tell by the title and thumbnail, man, I got an exclusive right here, man. Shit's finally coming back on Wes Watson and all the bullshit that he has said and the lies that he tells and disrespect that he's done to certain groups. Someone reached out to me that I know from the past as well. You know what I mean? And in regards to everything revolving around Wes Watson, okay. And I did a lot of follow-up questions when I was being told this information with this individual, right? They told me that based upon some of the comments that he made on No Jumper, that if Wes Watson is to return to prison, he will have a green light on his ass. And there's no other alternative. There's no clearing up any of the issues of what he's done. And what they went into was the things that he said on No Jumper was two things that they had to key in on. Was one, he made a comment that all he has to do is pay somebody, then he could do whatever he wants. Two, he made comments towards Mexican inmates, right? Raza inmates, who are only going to be either Paisa, Norteño, or Sureño. So you already know what time it is there. You basically disrespected a whole group of individuals that the white car doesn't really want no necessary issues with, right? But what really got him back is that he said he could pay them like nothing. See, he's been under the radar, I guess, as of recent with all the postings of all the mansions and the cars and all this stuff that he's doing, right? And he ain't give back to $1 to anybody that is within any type of leadership role in the state of California as a white convict. Not $1. Now, he may give it to someone that he knows as an inmate, right? A rather white guy, but that doesn't count, okay? Which everything that he told me as someone who's been in prison, right, and knows how politics play, made 100% complete sense. I asked, I go, why hasn't anybody really sweated him before? He said that Wes Watson basically came on, YouTube in a time period when there was a lot of stuff going on in the system with whites. And I know what he was referring to, which was the indictments. Therefore, no one was really paying any attention to what Wes Watson was doing. He was just there. It was just, you heard about him. But that time, it's when people started to tap in a little bit to his videos, he was doing the self-motivation. He wasn't speaking on stuff. And nobody really did a back look at some of his old videos. Apparently, some YouTubers, one being fucking Dub, started to raise a lot of questions to the stories that this individual was putting out there. And so far, in doing a follow-up, a lot of people have been investigating into him. No one knows what happened to him after he left Oklahoma, where he went, where he was lost in the shuffle, which probably was a level 2 or an SNY yard, they believe. But nobody has any confirmation of that. All they have seen recently is the No Jumper interview, right, where he straight up disrespected the NF, Norteños, MA, Sureños, Paisas, and Border Brothers by that comment about Mexicans. Sloppy, drug addicts, can't have fucking bodies and whatnot. That was a total shot of disrespect towards the Raza in general behind the walls. 2, talking about he is a shot caller. All he has to do is pay and he'll be all good with the fellas. That's not true. He's not in contact with no fellas. It's all bullshit. He doesn't know anybody. And in seeing all these videos with mansions and cars and Lambos and whatnot, he ain't contributed $1 to any person who's in leadership position. So he's talking out of turn, thinking that money's going to solve his issues, but where's the money at now? As he has misrepresented himself, his prison background, history, and status behind the walls in California. He said further that when it comes to like the white groups, all that fall under, one particular group, that he's basically stolen valor. He has done none of the things he says. He hasn't represented himself as a white should. And in fact, he has made the whites look even worse by some of his antics on YouTube. So I asked him about other white YouTubers that are on YouTube that have prison genre channels. And he said that really he can't say nothing bad about any of them because they're not even discussed by anybody. But at least that they're putting out legit content. And that some of them do tap into certain channels, you know what I mean? I said, okay, that makes sense. But as far as Wes Watson, It's done for him. He's done. He's done too much. He's lied. He's benefited off telling lies, and he's benefited off acting like he's a representative of the white prisoner. You know what I'm saying? He had no say so. He was never no shot caller. And if he was a shot caller, it was on probably on a level 2 yard that was really not even fucking of importance from what I was told. And they said a lot of the stories sound like he's been told these stories and that he spins the stories a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because there's certain things that you can tell like that he doesn't know because he wasn't there. So it's like he's acting like he's there in these stories, but there's certain things that as people who've been to prison like myself, we could see the lies. And that's what I was discussing with him. I'm like, man, the shoe video I told him about, the level 4 video. And he says, yeah, they've seen all that. It's all bullshit lies. The dude's never been to those places. And he's misrepresenting like he was. So if everybody's favorite level 4 shot caller, right, Wes Watson, was to get locked up tomorrow, he better take his ass to PC, because there's not a county jail or a prison that's going to allow him to walk that yard. And he has no one to blame but himself, man, because before all this, right, like I said, there's been more attention on him the last 6 to 9 months than there was like the last 2 years before that. And a lot of the reasons why is because he had stepped away from the prison stuff and was doing more of the motivational stuff. Like I said, it didn't work out as well as it needed to, or maybe it just maybe it did good in the beginning and now it doesn't really get the sales. So he's back on YouTube more, and he's trying to create this whole image that a lot of us know is fucking fake. Anybody that's really done time in prison knows that this man's stories are fabricated, they're spun narratives, and they're lies. He's lucky that he came into YouTube when he did, when there was no really person doing any prison genre stuff, except for maybe the likes of Big Herc and Dirty Weather. But these individuals, their politics does not apply to him, and everybody knows prison's very political. You know, some of the roster groups have to have more interactions with the whites than others. You know, and sometimes people just ain't going to tap into him just based upon the fact that he's, a self-proclaimed wood, right? So nobody's going to sit there and call him on his bullshit. If a lot of YouTubers were on here when he was trying to get his push, he would have probably got shut down. He would have been called down on his lies, his bullshit. But he did so during a period when, one, there wasn't the YouTube genre for prison genre channels was very small. Two, a lot of the white leadership in the state of California was undergoing a whole lot of new issues that were going on and had more important things to worry about than a fake YouTuber. He needs to be careful, though, because it's the people that you're not hearing that are speaking about him that you have to worry about. His success, right, is going to breed a lot of hate. And me personally, I don't hate on the man. I don't care that he's made a lot of money, which good for him. But you did so misrepresenting yourself, being an imposter, telling lies. So there's going to be those that are going to be pissed off about that are going to push that line against you or push that envelope, right? I don't know if I asked if anybody was, and he said very calmly, I can't tell you. So that kind of gave me an indication that maybe potentially he's being looked at on the streets because he's kind of pushed that envelope, like I said, man. There's people watching, and there comes a time frame when things settle down. Those that have done certain things are going to have to answer for their actions. It's always been like that in that prison street lifestyle. Now, I need to get this clear so people understand. I don't think a lot of prison genre channels hate this man. I think they hate the fact that he was able to reach this great pinnacle, right, off lies. And anybody's going to be upset with that, especially all the woods that are doing time or, AB, P9 Skinhead, NLRs who've made real sacrifices and ran yards that are still in good standings are going to take it personal when they hear the shit that comes out this fucking man's mouth. That's just me keeping it 100. That's why I said before, the dude's a great, orator. It's how he speaks. He's really well spoken, right? And so he could be a motivational speaker. The way he was doing things in his motivational speech, if it's helping somebody, good. You got a product there. You got a line that people are going to buy it. But I would step back away from anything to do with prison. I'd even take down most of my prison videos, man. especially the ones that you know that you're 100% lying. Anyways, I had a little bit further discussions, but it was basically the same stuff over and over again we were talking about, man. It's just clear as day. Like I said, from him, what he told me was there's a green light on Wes Watson. And then no jumper is the one that kind of pushed that envelope for that to happen. Now, he was already in question, you know, based upon a lot of reaction channels to him. People kind of forgot about him, but he put himself back out there again. Never a good thing, man. And in all this, I think that, as long as he stays out of prison, he's going to be all right. But if he keeps on pushing, talking like he's this and that, and he's not paying a dollar to any of the organization that he's supposed to fly under, right? Or not fly under, but be under their cracked whips. If he's not paying them and he's making all this money and he's putting videos out there, eventually someone's going to come knocking. Those are facts. With that said, hope you guys enjoy this. And I hope, Wes Watson, for your fucking sake, you don't go to prison, because this green light is as real as fuck.